everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown and opinion on this face palette from Catrice that is under $10. Seems like it has everything you would need for a full face of like color makeup. So I want to give you my opinions, and as I go I will be applying it to my face. Without further ado, let's get into it. Before I put these products on my face, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about what you actually get. When you look into the palette, you have two bronzer shades that are kind of different in depth and also in tone. The first one looks to me like a standard bronzer shade that isn't too deep and I feel like can work on a lot of different people. The next one on the side is a lot deeper and I also feel like it's way more cool tone. This almost looks like a true deep brown to me. I'm so surprised. Like when I first tried this, I did not expect for these bronzer shades, especially the second one, to look remotely natural or not too dark on my skin, and I feel like it just comes down to the formula of this palette, which I'll touch on very shortly. Then you have two highlighters that unfortunately I don't like because they are extremely shimmery. Like they have actual shimmer particles in them. They don't look glowy and natural, just like a dewy sheen, which I hoped for so much, but unfortunately it's not. What I use these for is actually just a cream shadow. When I use my powder highlighter, I just use that to set this color on my lid, for instance. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just sad that these highlighters just didn't turn out to be what I hoped them to be. However, the blushes are like the bronzers, such beautiful colors and formulas. I love that I have two options. It's kind of like a corally red and a cool toned deeper pink. Comparing it, for instance, to Techno Pink from Catrice, you can definitely see that Techno Pink is a little lighter in tone. I like that it has a little bit of a purple undertone, but not too much. For me, this is still a pink. I always use cream products, or better saying cream bronzers, because cream blushes I always use with my fingers, but cream bronzers I have been very loyal and I've been always using my BH Cosmetics Studio Pro No. 3 brush. It's just the perfect size of brush. The density is amazing. It's really good for creams. So I'm going to start with the bronzers, and I usually start on my forehead and I do dots like this, and you can see the product here. But this formula, even though the colors are dark, this blends so easily, which is probably the reason why I can get away with using even these darker tones. If you have tried the Catrice Melted Sun Cream Bronzer, these are pretty comparable, but I even feel like these are a little bit creamier, but that could also come down to the fact that I've had my Melted Sun Cream Bronzer for over a year, and probably it's just starting to dry out, and it makes me think that this is creamier, but it's probably just that it has, you know, been some time. This is just insane how the dark color just does not look too dark on me. Blends on its own pretty much. Used these bronzers, or like this palette, on vacation every day, and it was just the quickest, easiest thing to slap on, and I'm just so happy that this is at a drugstore price point. Also the ease of having multiple colors in one palette. Like you could mix in a little bit of the blush into the bronzer to make the bronzer more red toned, more pink toned, and vice versa. Add the bronzer to the blushes to make them deeper, warmer, whatever you are trying to achieve. And I feel like being able to do that and not having to spend so much money is just so good. And also, if you have never tried a cream product, not a blush, not a bronzer, you can get this palette and just see for yourself if you even like cream blushes and bronzers, and you don't have to buy separate cream blushes and cream bronzers. You have everything you need in one palette, even though I don't feel like these highlighters, again, really present how cream highlighters can be. On the eye, it looks super pretty because of the shimmer, but for the skin, it's just not my preferred look. This is as much as I would do for my bronzer, and I feel like it just looks beautiful. It just looks so good. These are pigmented, but I feel like it's just the perfect combination of the creaminess that they have and you can definitely build them up. Like I can add more if I want, but I just know that I'll just look crazy because it wouldn't match my neck and my hands and everything. But you can definitely build these up. These are perfect cream formulas in my opinion. They're not too pigmented, but they're also not too sheer where you have to add and add and add for you to see color. And now that the bronzer is done, I'm going in with blush. Usually I mix these two together on vacation. I always started with the red one, added a little bit of the pink one on top, and I always did it in a sunburned effect, which I'm also going to be doing today because I love that the very most. So I'm going to take the red color first, and how I usually do it is I just go into the pan and add color right here. This color especially, I feel like mimics a beautiful sun-kissed look. I remember we went to the beach, I had a little bit of like redness to my cheeks. When I woke up in the morning, I didn't look completely dead because of the color, and I started to enhance that because I feel like it looked so cute. See how pretty this just looks? This color is just so stunning, and I actually like it. It's not a cool tone red, like not a blue toned color. It's like a corally red, which looks so beautiful, and I did not expect that because I'm usually like, oh no, reds have to be cool toned on my skin tone, but I was always surprised as to how much I like this shade on me. This is how I would apply it on my nose and like this on my cheeks. I don't go up here because I have the bronzer there, and now I'll just add a little bit of the pink. I feel like it just looks extra cute when you add a little bit of that pink tone, and you can't really tell which colors you used in the end. Like people will look at your face and think that this is a natural flush because these colors just, they blend so nicely into your skin. This is not as emollient as the cheek flirt sticks that Catrice has. If you have tried these, you know that these are very glowy on the skin. I love how this looks. It makes you look so radiant, supple and dewy, but it's pretty emollient, and if you have oily skin, maybe it's not the best formula for you. And I feel like the creams in this palette are a lot more subdued. It's a natural finish in my opinion. Lashes are curled, and I'll start with the lighter color, and I'll add that on my lid and a little bit into my inner corner, I think. These are pretty sheer, obviously, if you're going to use them as like a cream shadow, because these are highlighters, so they usually don't have that much of a base tone and more of like a sheen. And this one has, instead of like just a sheen, has like a shimmer reflect in it, so it kind of looks like a topper on the eye, which I'm not mad about. I think it's so pretty. You could probably also use this actually like a topper, like do your complete eye makeup and then just add a little bit in the center. Obviously these highlighters have the same formula, which means that you will probably want to either apply just a little bit at the end of the eye makeup, as I said, or you will have to set it, because if not, it could crease a little bit. And I'm taking the darker color and I'll just add that in here. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're adding shimmer to your crease. Yeah, I'm doing that. Back in the day, I used to always use one shadow over my entire lid and crease, and it had like an interesting shift, so it kind of looked dark in the crease and light on the lid, and it looked good. Like, I don't really mind if it is a shimmer in the crease. If it's a little deeper, it'll still get the job done of adding depth. So I don't care if it's shimmery, but yeah. And I may not use it for my face, but still get use out of this. I'm gonna finish my makeup and I'll come back for some final words. All in all, I would say that if you have been thinking about getting this palette, I don't think that you'll be disappointed with the bronzer and blush colors. You may be like me, a little bit disappointed with the highlighters because, again, they have just a bigger shimmer running through them. I feel like when I look at the beauty community, it would probably be something that not everyone would be a fan of, but there may even be people who like a more shimmery look on the cheek. For me, it's not my preferred finish because the formula is just as creamy and beautiful like the blush and bronzer. It's just that the finish, because it has those bigger particles in it, just doesn't make it my favorite. But again, you saw how I applied it to my eye, and that is how I like to use it, and I still get use out of it and really like it. I did enjoy taking it with me on vacation, and I know for a fact that when I go now somewhere, I only need this. I don't need to bring other products, so it is nice. I think you just have to know for yourself, do you really need a cream palette? If you have no cream products, I feel like this is beautiful to try out first. You are not spending that much. This is under $10. I think that I got it at my drugstore for $6.95, which is $6.95 or $7.95. I'm not quite sure. To me, it's absolutely worth it, especially considering that, for instance, this cheek blush from Catrice on its own was $3.95. So let's say $4, $7, and you get a lot more options in here. So I feel like if you want to just try a cream product and you want to have multiple different ones in one palette, just really good to have different colors to try if you don't know which undertone you would like on yourself. I feel like this is a good introduction for you into a standard good cream formula that, again, isn't too pigmented, blends out easily. It just looks so healthy and pretty on the skin, so really rate this high. When I use it, I am happy, and that's what I look for in makeup. It's something that makes me feel beautiful, that wears nicely, that just looks good, and it just became a staple in my collection without me thinking that it would. I hope this video was helpful for you, that you were able to get a better look into this palette and help you decide if you need it, want it, or don't need it, don't want it, whatever it is. I just hope that my video was helpful for you, that you enjoyed hanging out with me, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. That means so much to me, and I hope to see you in my next video, and until then, please take care. Bye.